Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. Also, if you guys would like to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout, or click the link down below. It automatically applies the code to your transaction, and it helps support the channel. Thank you. Am I a bad apple? Yeah, if you're on this playlist, you're gonna be the only one in the room asking that question. Everybody else is gonna be a unified answer of, doi, yeah. So I, 15F, did something pretty awful, and I know it, but now I'm wondering if I'm actually the bad apple in this situation, or if things just escalated way too much. Here's what happened. At my school, there's this guy. Let's call him A, 15M. A's a pretty quiet guy, keeps to himself, and doesn't really get involved in much drama. But a few weeks ago, I got into a stupid argument with my friend, and for some reason, I thought it would be funny to say something about A to stir the pot. I didn't think it was going to get as bad as it did, but I spread rumors about him. The rumor wasn't true at all. It was honestly cruel, but I should have known better. Basically, I told a few people that A had been expelled from his last school for doing something really bad. I'm not going to get into specifics because it's embarrassing and totally false. Anyways, it didn't take long for that rumor to spread like wildfire. By the end of the day, nearly everyone in our grade was talking about it, and A looked completely devastated. Of course, I never thought it would actually stick. I figured people would brush it off or laugh it off like it was nothing, but that's not what happened. The rumors spiraled out of control, and by the end of the week, A's reputation was completely trashed. People started avoiding him, and some even made snide comments to his face. It got so bad that even teachers were noticing something was up, but they didn't know the source. That's when things got real. One of A's friends went to a teacher and told them that I had started the rumor. The teacher called me in, and when they asked if I had anything to do with it, I lied. Straight up, I denied everything. I didn't want to get in trouble, and I honestly thought that if I just kept my mouth shut, it would all blow over. I was wrong. They started questioning people that I had talked to, and soon enough, the truth came out. I was called into the principal's office and confronted again, and this time, they had proof. They had spoken to every person I had talked to about the rumor, and they all confirmed that I was the one who spread it. At that point, I was pretty much caught, so I had no choice but to admit it. But even then, I still tried to downplay it like it wasn't that big of a deal. But here's where things get even worse. Instead of just giving me detention or something, the school decided I needed to make a public apology. They told me that I had to confess to the entire 9th grade class to set the record straight. I was mortified, but I didn't have a choice. They gave me until Friday, September 20, 2024, to think about what I was going to say. I dreaded it for days, knowing that I'd have to stand up in front of everyone and admit that I had been lying. On the day of the apology, I went up there and, yeah, I apologized. I told the truth, that the rumor was completely false, that I made it up, and that I was sorry for ruining A's reputation. But honestly, I didn't really feel sorry. I was just doing it because I had to, and I was angry that I was being forced to humiliate myself in front of everyone. Oh, that's ironic. I felt like the school was overreacting, and with the punishment didn't fit the crime. After my apology, a few people came up to me and said that they were proud for me for owning up to it. Even the principal said that I did a good job, and A's reputation seemed to recover. But inside, I was still bitter. A part of me felt like it wasn't at all my fault. I mean, rumors happen all the time, right? And people should have known better than to believe something so ridiculous. After that, though, things got awkward at school. People started whispering behind my back, and I felt like I had become the next target of gossip. It was like I was being punished twice. Once for the rumor, and again for owning up to it. I lost a few friends who said that they didn't trust me anymore, and even some teachers started treating me differently. It sucked. But here's the thing. I ended up being fine. People eventually moved on from the rumor, and he seemed to bounce back like nothing happened. Meanwhile, I'm the one who had to go through the public apology, the gossip, and the loss of friends, and now I'm left wondering, am I the a-hole for spreading the rumor in the first place, or was the school's reaction too extreme? Like, did I really deserve all of this? Part of me thinks I did, but the other part of me feels like the whole situation got blown way out of proportion. Get that what I did was wrong, but I really deserve to be publicly shamed in front of my entire class? Shouldn't people be held responsible for believing and spreading rumors too? Like, you mean like how you started one? It wasn't like I forced them to keep talking about it. They chose to spread it on their own. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for spreading the rumor, lying about it, and then being upset with how everything played out? Or was the school right to make me go through that whole public apology ordeal? Are you really that immature that you don't see the error of your ways on this? Yes. Hey, I got into a disagreement with my friend, and then for some reason I decided to make a joke or a rumor about somebody who had absolutely nothing to do with it. And, what do you mean rumors spread around grade school spread like wildfire? That's preposterous. You know, they should just get over it. They should punish the people for spreading the rumor. You know, past me. I'm just glad that the school actually did something about it, because in a lot of places, they'll do whatever makes them look the best, which would basically be evenly punishing both the people who spread the rumor and the rumor that the person that the rumor was about. You know, the whole let's slap both of them on the wrist, even though only one of them threw a punch. I only spread a rumor about this that hurt this person's reputation, and things only started to get better when I owned up to it. Yeah, you know, this is the type of attitude where your punishment should have been something about, like, you having to repeat the same grade. But you know, obviously you would never know the consequences of those actions. No, it's not like you've ever had your reputation ruined because somebody spread around a lie or anything. My 38M kids 10 and 11 does not have a relationship with my new wife, 38F. How do I navigate this issue so I don't lose my relationship with my wife and don't ruin my relationship with my daughters? Sorry in advance for the long post, but I wanted to make sure that I captured all of the details. I, 38M, have been with my partner, now wife, 38F, for 2 years. I have 2 daughters, 10 and 11, from a previous relationship, and we have been broken up for 7 years. The kids have never met any of my partners since the breakup. My current wife also has a son who is 15 from a previous relationship. When I first met her, we talked about the kids that I told her that no one has met my daughters, not even my previous partner of 5 years. She expressed to me that she would not be okay with being with someone with kids who doesn't want her to build a relationship with them. She said that my kids are important to me and a big part of my life, so it would be important for her to have that relationship. 6 months into the relationship, she brings it up again and tells me that if this is not something I want, then we should end things now. So I set up a casual meeting at an amusement park, introduced them, and didn't say that she was my girlfriend. We kinda hung out all together here and there, but sometimes she and her son and her son's friends went and did their own things. My daughters seemed to really like her and was talking to her. My youngest was holding her hand and talking to her a lot. They go home, and kid's mom finds out that they met my girlfriend and freaked out and was upset because I didn't let her know. She called me with the kids in the background crying as she was saying I can't see them anymore and that I can F whoever I want, but don't bring the kids around. I apologized to her and asked her to please put the kids to bed and then we can talk. She continued to yell at me in front of them as they were crying. After that, I don't let them see my girlfriend anymore, since she expressed to me that my daughters weren't comfortable with it, and they didn't want anything to do with my girlfriend. Fast forward to a year later, I have now moved in with her, and we were trying for a baby, and then getting married. Once she was pregnant and we were married, I tried to talk to my kid's mom again and tell her that now that we have been living together, I would like for the kids to be able to come over and spend time with me and my partner instead of me having to take them to the park or my brother's house every time that I have them. She again refused and said that that's not what the kids want. We again leave it at that, and then when the baby is born, I message her that I'd like for us to talk to the kids. She ignored my messages. I text her again a week later, and again then when we was 3 months old. Since I didn't hear from her, I decided to talk to the kids and tell them about their brother and my wife. They seemed very happy and receptive and even wanted to meet them immediately. Their only concern was for me to not disappear on them, and I reassured them that that wouldn't be the case. We would all be a family, and we can all go on trips together now, and they seemed very happy. The next day, their mom calls my sister to tell me that the kids have been crying, and they don't want to meet the baby or my wife, and they're jealous of the baby. When I picked them up, I talked to them again and asked them how they were feeling since they said all of that to their mom and my sister. And they said that they were fine now and they want to meet the baby and my wife. And even said that they wanted to bake something to give to her when they meet her. A week later, the mom calls me and tells me that what I'm doing is wrong and that they shouldn't have to meet my wife. If I want them to have a relationship with the baby, I can bring the baby to my parents' house and they can meet the baby there, and eventually, 3 to 4 years down the road, when they are comfortable, they can meet my wife. She said they don't want anything to do with her and I shouldn't push them to meet her. But also, the baby is young now, so they can even wait a bit to meet the baby. She says that they told her that they are jealous of the baby and jealous that my mom is helping watch the baby, and the youngest thought that she would be the last one, and that they wish they had a family with their mom and dad like their friend. How do I navigate the issues so I don't lose my relationship with my wife and don't ruin my relationship with my daughters? TLDR, kids tell me that they are happy to meet my wife and new baby, but X is saying that they are crying to her and telling her that they don't want to meet the baby or my wife. It kind of seems like a really big issue between your wife and yourself, and asking people on Reddit does not seem like the smartest idea. Very much like with both the title of it being shared to r/AmITheDevil, and majority of the comments are saying, get a freaking lawyer. Get this all sorted out on a legal basis, and then hopefully that's something that you guys can do. Do not ask random people on the internet for advice. The way this kind of seems is that there might have been some back and forth beforehand. I don't know what was the reason you guys split, but very much this kind of feels like something you should get looked at by professionals. Am I the a-hole for insisting my mom miss the big family Christmas to stay with me postpartum? My husband and I welcomed our first baby earlier this month. Long story short, things happened way earlier than any of us expected, and she was born preterm and landed in the neonatal ICU for a week. So her due date was at the end of December, but she ended up unexpectedly being born in early of December. I was already expecting my mom to be there for me like a solid month as support once the baby was home. And she has been coming and helping in the few days so far that we have had our daughter home. My mom also became regularly to the ICU to give me support with the baby. However, she, my dad, and my one sister, who lives locally, i.e. my entire support system where I live, are all planning to leave the state for 4 days for Christmas. For context, every year, my side of the family goes to my other sister's for Christmas. She lives in a nice, trendy neighborhood in the San Francisco area with her husband and 2 boys, my nephews 5 and 7. Every year, she pays for hotel rooms for us to stay. My other sisters, My mom and dad all love spending Christmas at this trendy neighborhood, having good food and seeing my nephews. To be honest, the whole thing lost its shine for me a while ago. A lot of the trendy shops and places of interest are closed Christmas Eve and Christmas, the bulk of when we are there usually, so we are mostly trapped in my sister's house with all of the adults playing and entertaining the nephews until dinner time. It's hours of sitting around, not doing a whole lot, but that's just my point of view of it. I know my other sisters and my parents enjoy it quite a bit. With my mom leaving with my dad and sister for Christmas, like it is just any other year, despite the fact that I have a newborn child, I've only had in my house for 4 days at this point. I can't help but feel like my support system, but especially my mom, is abandoning me. My mom doesn't view it this way. She thinks that my husband and I will learn enough about the ropes of parenthood by the time their trip rolls around that we won't need her. But for me, it isn't about whether we actually need her. It feels like to me that when it's me versus my sister, she will pick her over me, and I'm second priority. These are my feelings on the matter, and I want to explain that to her. But if she leaves on this trip, that it means I will always be second priority to her, no matter what. More context, I am the middle of 3 sisters and have serious middle child syndrome. Anyways, I guess my question is, I know that the reason I want her to not go is purely emotional, and I know she really wants to go to see my nephews, who she can't see very often because they live so far away. Would I be the a-hole if I laid out my entire emotional reason for wanting her to stay and insisting that she stay, missing the family Christmas, and if she goes anyways, I feel like she has emotionally abandoned me and my daughter? I can understand that there's a bit of an emotional side, but you also gotta kind of figure out that other people need to have their own experiences too. Yeah, sure, you get to celebrate them with Christmas every single year, but if they want to change things up for once, it might be good to respect that and let them go do their own things. Am I the a-hole for talking in general terms while my wife thought I was talking specifically towards her instead? So basically, my wife and I got into an argument over a letter that was attached to our front door from our apartment's manager over something absolutely not worth arguing or bickering about. The letter stated that all residents need to have a valid driver's license for parking on the premises and will not have a dedicated parking spot anymore, which we have now, and will now become a first-come, first-served basis for getting parking. Why they decided to do that is beyond me, and is just one instance of the kind of stuff that they have enforced as a rule in this complex, but that is beside the point. So, my wife and I are talking about us both renewing our driver's licenses, since we haven't done it yet due to laziness from being tired all the time, and not having much time due to taking care of our 4-year-old son, bringing him to various weekly appointments, and to school. He was born as a surviving triplet and has a 24-week micro-preemie, so he is temporarily declared as special needs to help him catch up in everything, which is perfectly normal for preemies and especially micro-preemies. Anyways, it's no excuse, I know, but dang, those California driver's license exams are hard AF and test you on ridiculous questions that I know for a fact 99% of people don't remember or need to remember. I took the test twice and failed, but got very close to passing. And this was about studying, but it's impossible to pass it by doing so much because of the specific and exact answers and knowledge needed to answer their arbitrary questions, which aren't have anything to do with practical driving. So, I just start speaking in general to my wife, saying how hard the tests are, and then I said, these tests are crazy hard, and you need to study really hard to get these things down. And she gets a little upset and says to me, "You think I don't know that? Of course I know that." Then I explain that I'm not calling her out specifically, but I'm just speaking in general. She gets mad and says that because I'm saying the word you, that I'm calling her out specifically. But I tell her that I'm speaking in general, but that is a way of speaking. She says that how is she supposed to know that when this test pertains to her? But I insist that I'm speaking in general because I had already stated how hard the test is. And the continued statements were me speaking in general about it. She gets so upset because she says that she's not going to know that I'm speaking in general. But I say, how can you not when I've already stated that these tests are hard for everyone, and that I went on explaining what we needed to do to study and pass it? Am I just delusional here, or one of the last people on Earth who speak in general terms when using words like you, to mean that it's for everyone in general and not towards a specific person? But with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. And if you guys would like to, there's also some more videos in the end cards in case you want to be awesome on that too. So I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!